So I'm not going to waste a whole lot of time. I'm going to jump into it. Hopefully, you guys know that I'm going live. Hopefully, you join, and I'll try to keep it quick. Washington Post, the black hole in Robert F. I don't know why it's quote unquote black. The quote unquote black hole in Robert F. Kennedy Jr.'s housing conspiracy theory. The housing conspiracy theory. It's pathetic. It is pathetic. Washington Post is pathetic. The mainstream media is pathetic. All of this is so ridiculously fake and fraudulent, and I am so tired of the media doing the exact opposite of what the media is supposed to do. Let me go ahead, turn the chat on. Hopefully, we'll get some people to join. If not, it is what it is. We are on the enemy's platform. Kennedy, who is running for president as an independent, is best known these days for spreading dangerous conspiracy theories that jabs cause autism and that coronavirus could have been a bioweapon. Why is that dangerous misinformation? We don't know. Instead of the mainstream media or just media in general doing its due diligence and finding out, they are constantly going after the people that are aware that the government lies, that they are always up to no good, and they are continuously labeling the people, the citizens of this country, as the evil ones, as extremists, nationalists, white supremacists, and the list goes on and on and on. I mean, we could talk about all these things, right? We could talk about thimerosal. We could talk about coronavirus and how all of the many, many ties it has shows that whether it was a bioweapon as far as the traditional sense or a mechanism to deliver certain technologies to people is a debate that is worth having, as opposed to just throwing everybody under the umbrella of extremists. Well, fuck you, DHS, DOJ, and the FBI. Deliberately targeted to spare Ashkenazi Jews and Chinese. Well, it did. It wasn't supposed to be some take going after specific groups. They was just going by the data. So the term you were looking for, Washington Post, was malinformation, meaning that yes, it is true, but we don't like it. So get your shit together. In a campaign video titled, "I'll Help You Buy a Home," Kennedy especially targets a company called BlackRock, saying that when houses come on the market, it swoops in and outbids prospective home buyers with all cash offers and turns the homes into rentals. He also often includes two other investment firms, Vanguard and State Street, in his critique. And Washington Post is going to sit here and tell us that this isn't exactly what's happening because they're on the BlackRock and Vanguard and State Street payroll. They own them just like they own everybody else. So why do people still get their information from them? The housing crisis in the United States is real. There are too few homes on the market. No, that's bullshit. There's entire blocks upon blocks that are open, but they're getting bought up the moment they go for sale by the very groups that were mentioned. Karma Duck, so good to see you. Hope you're enjoying the holiday time of year. It just amazes me, and it shouldn't. Like the level of, I don't know if I could find the correct word, disdain maybe? The level of disdain. It is Saturnalia, I know. And it is pagan. But I try to, because my family, obviously, and everybody, it's a good time to spend time with people you love, regardless, because everybody thinks it is what it is. So try to make the most of any situation. The fact that these bastards can act like this isn't what's happening. Not that we need yet another article to prove to us that the media is the enemy of the people. The enemy. They hate you. They are trying to control and manipulate you at every single turn. And if you don't agree with them, then you become a conspiracy theorist. And if you share information outside of the bubble of information that they're spewing out of their gullets, then you're a misinformationist. You're spreading misinformation. And if you go a little further and you start organizing and saying, like, we've had enough of this, and it's about time that we do something, well, then you become a domestic terrorist. Even though violence may have never been in your purview, that you had no intention of, your government cares nothing. Nil. Zip. They want you to be an obedient, perfect little citizen, and don't ask questions. Just do what you're told, believe what you're supposed to believe, and then move on to the next piece of propaganda that they're cramming down your throat. But Kennedy's claims are financially illiterate poppycock. He gets so many things wrong that it's hard to know where to begin. But we will start with the most apparent problem. He's mixing up two companies, BlackRock and Blackstone. Well, see, yeah, you could technically say that, but they're both doing it, right? They're both doing it. So it's not. Blackstone, yes, is buying more residential properties, but Blackstone is doing everything else. So you got your commercial, your industrial, and then you got your residential. You got Blackstone, BlackRock, and State Street. And they're knocking them all out. And they're all working with each other. And they're manipulating. They've been doing this forever. They've been manipulating the stocks, the stock market, banks, interest rates. All of it is it's an illusion. And it's there to put pressure on people when they need pressure on. It's there to be great and fruitful when they want it to be. But it's under control against evil people. They're the ones behind the levers of power. They're the ones behind the power of the media. They own it all, and it's all working in tandem against you. We know what's going on with BlackRock and Blackstone. That's why I started off with this one, so I can skip it essentially, hoping that we would gain a subscriber or two onto the stream, but it doesn't look like that's going to happen. So I'm going to keep moving ahead regardless. Always good to pay attention to FEMA. FEMA chief, very concerned about disinformation from U.S. adversaries after disasters. Why do you suppose they're saying something like this? Yeah, we are the carbon. We are the virus. That's it. That's 100% true. When they talk about eliminating carbon, it's us. When they're talking about eliminating viruses, it's us. By 2030, they need a massive half-cut reduction in population, and then on the way down, they want, you know what it is, right? How many billionaires and how many movers and shakers and industries and your Ted Turners of the world, your Bill Gateses, your Warren Buffett. How many times have we heard from your Georgia Guidestones? I mean, it goes 95% reduction of the human population would be ideal. We even had what's her name there? The lady that loves taking pictures of the primates there, Getty, right? And Getty saying the same thing, exact same thing. Dubai. FEMA administrator Deanne Criswell told Axios on the sidelines of the COP28, which is another, I mean, somebody needs to go there and shake everybody's hand for doing such a great job, on Monday, that she is very concerned about the ability of U.S. adversaries to spread disinformation and sow distrust in the wake, in the wake of natural disasters. So why, what is this? Pretty popular, very popular, it's Axios. So basically, the FEMA administrator is saying, hey, we're very concerned about the ability that U.S. adversaries, so it's always against, it's just like the early elections, right? Russian interference, to spread disinformation in the wake of, now what disinformation in the wake of natural disasters? Personally, I don't think there's a need to fast against herb. That's just me. I mean, it depends what type of fast, I guess. Like if you're fasting on food as well, well then yeah, I'd fast against herb as well. But if it's it depends it depends. She pointed to misinformation and disinformation spread by nation-state actors, namely China and Russia, following this year's devastating fires in Maui. Go figure. Haven't even read the article yet, but I already have shit about Maui up. Because I can't say that. What I do is, I mentioned before, and many, many times before, I'll read the first paragraph and I'll get the gist. I'll read the title, I'll read the first paragraph, I'll get the gist. But that wasn't the first paragraph. This was the first paragraph. And I see nothing about Maui, but I know how they work. And they want to shut up people from talking about things that will call them out, that will show that the emperor is wearing no clothes, that goes against their narrative, pushes back against their agenda. So they're concerned that people are saying, but China and Russia, now you. So when they put the laws in place, do you think they're going to say against foreign actors? right? They build these narratives long enough to the point where they hope to get enough public pressure behind it as well, but not always. They don't always need it. But they do it so eventually they'll build up enough and they'll say, well, we can't have people because China and Russia, right? And climate change this and climate change that. We got to prevent people from saying these crazy things, such as like the Maui fires were done intentionally. And not only were they done intentionally, they were done with technology that should scare the shit out of everybody. But no, it's a conspiracy theory. Even though they can say that they don't have the technology on your 6 o'clock news, but on your National Geographic channel at the exact same time, they'll be talking about 25 trillion watt lasers that are capable of causing all sorts of things to happen, splitting the ions of molecules, doing crazy, crazy stuff that most people aren't even aware is possible right now. So no, it's not true, but yes, we're doing it. But not like that, of course. We're only the good guys, and we would only use it to help. Said every psychopathic tyrant out there, ever. I'm very concerned about this new threat landscape. That's a DHS term, by the way. Whenever you hear threat landscape, know that this isn't the media you're reading. You're reading the talking points given to them by the government in control of everything to keep you from doing what it is that needs to be done to stop these people in their tracks from completely destroying society. That is coming into our environment and creating challenges that we haven't faced before, she said, adding that this includes the spreading of misinformation and disinformation. It's creating so much difficulty for us to get people who really need our help to come ask for the help because it's created this level of distrust. Because nobody trusts you. They don't need your help. Hi, I'm from the government. We're here to help. What makes it the most terrifying 9 words in the English language? Nobody needs your help. Every time you help, look what happens. It's a fucking joke, man.
Outside of the continuing threat that we're facing from climate change, I'm very concerned about the convergence of cyber attacks with our natural disasters that are...
Excuse me? Why would that be something you're concerned about? You're concerned about the convergence. Interesting. Very interesting. Thanks for sharing.
Our adversaries know when we are at our most vulnerable and know how to take advantage of those times.
I mean, not to say that they wouldn't, but we do more damage to our own people. The government of this country does so much more. They do many more psychological operations. We got a complete, well-structured department in the military that operates on our soil, conducting psychological operations against the American people all of the time. But we're worried about what China... We should be more worried about what is already here, that has come home to roost, and get these criminals completely removed.
Times. And so very concerned about this new threat landscape that is coming into our environment.
What's up, New Edge? Good to see you, brother.
Creating challenges that we haven't faced before. And it goes into some of the misinformation as well. I can give you two examples that are making our jobs harder. In East Palestine, Ohio, when the train derailed, we had nation state actors that were sending misinformation out, trying to create distrust in the federal government. In Maui.
Like what? Like what? Give me an example. They always do this. They say this is happening, but they never, not a single time, do they ever provide an example, because the examples do not exist. What they're really referring to are people that are, like you and I, just looking for more than the BS propaganda that's being spewed to us from our mainstream media outlets, and going to search for people that may be on the ground. And don't worry, we'll cover it and we'll show some of the stuff that's really happening, like we always do, and show that this is all BS. It always is, and it's a grab for our rights. It's an attempt to silence us and to keep us from talking about things that they themselves are trying to get away with scot-free.
Maui, after the fires, we had nation state actors that were sending misinformation.
And that's confirmed that's coming from outside.
Those were both confirmed instances that were coming from the outside. And it's
confirmed by who? And what are their names? What positions? What ranks? What's the information? No, you will never know any of that, because none of that ever exists.
Creating so much difficulty for us to get people who really need our help to come ask us for the help, because it's created this level of distrust. So it's a whole new challenge that.
So let's translate. She's saying the people of Maui and East Palestine said that we seen how the government operated, especially Maui. We see, I mean, I was covering a little bit of it. When people in Maui were experiencing the most devastating times of their entire life. Think about this. Like, genuinely think about this in being you and your family. Take it in. Going through the hardest time ever, right? Everything you know, the house you grew up in. And it's been handed down in many cases from generation to generation. On one of the most beautiful paradises in the entire world. And then all of a sudden this fire just comes and just, it doesn't eliminate everything. Eliminates all of the zoned lower to middle income housing, as far as, comparison's concerned. Wipes all of that out. It'll even jump, like, if this is a wildfire that doesn't burn wood, because trees and other things like umbrella, things, it'll be perfectly standing. Everything's fine. It'll jump the flammable material and burn yet another house down. Now, this is suspicious because we know how fire behaves. Everybody knows how fire behaves. So when they see this, they're like, what is going on? And then they see that there's been these deals in places to take their property and sell it to. So they're naturally concerned. It's not because they're being indoctrinated and radicalized and becoming extremists. The only people that are becoming extreme is your federal government. Everybody else is like trying to figure out what the is going on. But no, it's making her job a little bit harder, because they can't go and invade into a community because the mayor of that community isn't asking for help. And they're not asking for help because the massive amounts of constituents that are saying, no, get them out of here. We've seen what FEMA did, right? FEMA was taking the resources. There were people that were holding their own drives and having food and cash and everything donated, and they were attempting to deliver it to the people in need. You know what FEMA did? They seized all of it, sat it out in the rain. I don't know about the rain. It just sounded good. I do try to be, but sat it out in the elements for days on days end. Instead of giving it to the people. There was people that needed insulin. A person on jet ski went and got the insulin that was needed, went to deliver it, FEMA, and kept. One person died because of that. They could have, had the government not intervened and taken it from them, they care so much about you. All they want to do is make you so incredibly safe. So very safe. Speaking of,
The esteemed, famous, world famous now Pentecostal church. I put a video about this out a few weeks ago.
you know what I love? It seems like you can always count on the Lord. Because so many things were just completely destroyed and burnt to a crisp. Car blocks, complete metal engines just melted away. Far away from anything, any trees, anything, in the middle of a parking lot on the opposite side of anything that's flammable, completely disintegrated, vaporized in many instances. But yet this church, well, it stood standing. And not only did it do that, but it provided the very necessary proof that this was a direct energy weapon.
Ago. As you can see, this church completely survived, with the exception of a very interesting situation over here. Alright, so I'm going to switch the camera angle here so I can zoom in a little bit on things. So here I am in the Pentecostal church, right next to Nuku's house.
What's all that on the ground? Where'd that come from? Everything looks fine.
Very, very strong smell. And this interesting line of burn right across.
How does that happen? How does the fire only burn? Well, let's keep watching.
The top of the roof. However, the building did not burn. It almost came down, like, appears to have come down, like, right at the pulpit. So, that's wild. I don't even know what to say.
That's a natural fire. Think about the last article. This is what they're concerned about. They're concerned about you watching stuff like this. They're concerned about you making up your own mind that's not filled with fiction created by some editor and a shitty writer behind a desk at a mainstream media outlet. They're doing everything they can in their power to make sure that people like you and I can no longer question or speak about anything that is of importance, because we will be labeled extremists, we will be labeled conspiracy theorists, and they will associate that with, like they have been doing with mass shooters and people that go off the deep end and commit crazy acts, even though people that I know that have similar mindsets are peace-loving people that can't stand violence, that do everything they can to prevent it, never incite it. The only people that ever really do that are the people like the government, like the military, like the ones that are always the telling you you're the problem.
I don't even know what to say about this. I just feel like this whole area should be under an investigation by some kind of arson tribunal or independent study or...
That will never happen. Look what they did to the entire area. Right? They locked it down. They started spraying this pink foam glue over everything so you couldn't even do an investigation if you wanted to. Think about... We should never forget about Maui because this is going... Let's go back. Let's go back and check out that article. It's important. This is what they're talking about. She is saying the FEMA chief is saying that they're concerned about the new threat landscape. And they're going to blame it on, because that's what they're doing right now, right? They're talking about Maui. They're talking about mis and disinformation, just like the way the media has all these conspiracy theories when you talk about direct energy weapons and stuff, right? Because, of course, what are they going to admit to it? Are they going to say, yeah, we zapped you? We needed the land? Whatever happened to Oprah Winfrey and Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson's little charity? Did they give any of that money away? No, that was designed to take it away from people that may have received it. They interjected themselves as a wall because everybody knows them, and they're like, oh, they're good people. They'll know what to do with it. You cannot trust anybody. Anybody. Don't trust me. In this new world, you can't trust anybody. It's sad to say, I hate it. I wish it wasn't that way, but it is. Nobody, especially the ones that pretend to care the most. The ones that are there to save you. The ones that are saying, this is all for your own protection. It's just disgusting. I don't know what can explain this other than...
It's just like, what is going on? What the heck is going on?
All over, in this area, just burnt to a crisp. Yet miraculously, this church survived, and it survived with a telltale sign showing right through the roof. A clear cut that only could be done through something of tremendous power and high heat, which to me screams laser or direct energy weapon. But nothing else is burned. Now, fires burn upwards. How did the fire start at the very peak of the building and yet nothing else is burned? But no, this is I must be Chinese or Russian. This must be Chinese or Russian dis or misinformation that you're receiving. And clearly, you're just too dumb to decipher it for yourself. So you need the help of Big Brother. And not only do you need their help, but they need to come in and write laws and put things in place to prevent this type of thing from happening again. Not the type of thing of burning people out of their homes, but from people calling out the government when they get caught doing it.
You know what, guys? While I'm up on this pulpit, I'm just going to declare the name of Jesus over this whole situation. So in the name of Jesus, I reach and look towards the heavens. I cry out, Abba Father, in the name of Jesus. I ask, Lord, that you would please move mountains, cast them into the sea, and bring much needed justice and financial help. We ask, Lord, that everything that's been hidden will be revealed, and the truth shall be made known, and the people will get the support that they need, and those who are accountable for this will be held accountable. We thank you, Lord, that you will open up the windows of heaven and will pour out a blessing onto the people of Lahaina that they simply cannot contain, above and beyond all they could think or ask. And we thank you, Lord. Thank you.
Amen. What a beautiful prayer. What a beautiful prayer, man. That was excellent.
Ahead of time. Above and beyond.
So that's sad. That's sad. And everybody's moved on. They don't give a damn about these people. They're only concerned about whatever they're ever told to be concerned about. Not for long, guys. Shit's gonna change. It's not gonna be pretty. I hope you're ready. I certainly am. Danco. Government agencies will stop using Elon. Oh, it's hard to read it. Government agencies will stop using Elon Musk's X, citing hate speech. You mean that those same governments that are in countless other countries killing people right now? You're concerned about what they're saying? Because you're putting 45 and 50 caliber bullets through their heads. You're slaughtering these people for oil, for gold, for opium, for you name it. They don't give a shit about you. But no. The government agencies are going to stop using good riddance. That doesn't mean they're going to leave it alone, though. No, contraire. They'll be more involved than ever. Let's move on. I thought this was an interesting title. What are we dealing with? 6 people? You guys quiet tonight. Young Brits open to banning the Bible over perceived hate speech. This is coming to a store near you, to a movie theater near you. They're already working on it. We were told that this would happen. It's not a surprise. I'm here to tell you that it will happen. I'm going to stop pretending like I don't know more than I do. Like I don't know who I am. There's going to be and you know what? I really don't care the type of feedback I get at this point. Like if somebody's like, "Oh, he's off the deep end," or he's gone, then have at it. Leave a comment. Do what you will. Because I know where I stand, and everybody that knows me knows I'm probably one of the most grounded people. Far from crazy but we're look around. We are in some interesting times. Times that have brought me here today. Again. in this body, I mean, not a bad one, if I do say. Nearly a quarter of young Brits would ban the Bible if they felt its pages contain hate speech. And guess what? Well, according to the current condition, they absolutely contain hate speech, right? A man shall not lay with another man. Oh, can't say that. Can't say that. A man shall not don in the woman's clothing. No, no, no. That's hate speech. And it doesn't stop there. I got more of this. They want to do everything because it's. I mean, look what they're promoting. Look at the evil. Look at all of the videos, the movies, the music, all of the industries. Look what they're poisoning society with. Does that seem pure? Does that seem good? Does that seem like it's going to benefit society in any way whatsoever? No. Because this is Lucifer's world. He is the God. She, he, it. That's where people were like, well, it's the humanist thing is the reason for the transgender thing. And kind of, I mean, it leads there, but that's not the reason. The reason is because Lucifer, Satan, if you will, they're not quite the same, but was androgynous. Look at Baphomet. Why do you have a man and a woman under a goat's head? What does that mean? What does it mean? A man with breasts, as above, so below, with 2 children. Unless the offending parts can be edited out, books containing what some perceive as hate speech should be banned from general sale, including, if necessary, religious texts such as the Bible. Do you think they would say that about the Quran? Do you think they would say that about the Torah or even the Talmud? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Just like you can't say anything. You can't be racist against black people, Asian people, Hispanic people, but you damn sure can be racist against white people. It's kind of the same principle. Young people aged 18 to 34 were the most likely to agree with this statement. Basically saying that we need to ban the Bible. Oh, that looked like Baphomet's head right there. I just seen this. But no, it's just a cute little black girl. Hungry. Somebody get her some food. Oh, we can't. You know why? Because all of the geoengineering that's destroying the crops. All of the food facility manufacturers that are burning to a crisp. For some reason. Apparently they don't have any fire safety courses going on in the food industry. Everybody's running around with blowtorches and fucking wood and lint in their pockets or something. I don't know why they're going up like they are, but they are. She said that worrying steps towards censorship had already been taken under the conservative government, including the arrest of street preachers for quoting the Bible. Under conservative government? Where are we? Was this Britain? Is that what it was? Yeah, young Brits. Speaking of that. Oh boy, is everybody in for a surprise when Trump gets in. they've been begging for it, right? Like with this mug shot. Oh, they're doing everything they can to keep Trump out of office while doing everything they can to make sure that he gets in. It's fucking so silly, right? Nobody wants crime in their city. Nobody. They don't. Even if you're a criminal, you don't want other crime in your city. It's gonna steal from your pocket. Like, nobody wants that, but yet they're pretending that this is just the way of the other side, of the left wing, right? That way, everybody's so fed up by the time that the new selection rolls around, and it's like, oh, well, who would have thought Trump, the one that they were doing everything they can to get into office, just happened to get in office, and what's he going to do? Oh, he's going to solve the crime problem. He's going to get rid of that darn crime. How's he going to do it? Now, just add a couple laws. You know, maybe, well, there's going to be a huge problem with migration, and obviously he cares a lot about that. What do you do with the ones that are here? Well, could we build more camps? Could we build more of them? Because we're already building some. We're already building, I don't know, a few of them. Let's take a look. Judge denies temporary restraining order after construction halted at Brighton Park migrant camp. Migrant camp, you say? Oh, look at that. What's that look like? Seen them before?
Not so much. As you said, the state has halted work there temporarily. Residents of the area who oppose the camp, however...
It is absolutely temporarily. You don't think for 1 second that they're just going to be like, oh, yep, no, let's pack it up. Let's get out of here. No, it's a contract. It's all been paid by the government, by the way, to create these massive structures that can house tons of people. And we're also blaming the Democratic Party and the liberals for releasing so many people out of prison. And they have. So now there's a ton of room. Wonder why. Let's let the killers loose while we lock up the who. Who's on the top of the threat list? Who have we been being warned about over and over and over again are the most dangerous among us, even though they have to create the psyops necessary to try to convince the public that that is actually what's going on.
However, are still not happy after a judge refused to issue a temporary restraining order that they were seeking. There was little to no movement today at Brighton Park's would-be winterized base camp at 38th.
That is massive. Massive. You guys see to the right and you see them little tiny buildings over there? Those are full-size containers. Those are full, like, trailers. This thing is massive. Wonder how many people look at the cars on the left. This isn't just some small tent city like they were calling it. Yeah, it's in the shape of a tent. But now, this isn't just the only one. These are being done all over the cities, all over the states. Oh, but yeah, there's a migrant crisis. So, of course, that's where they're going to put the migrants at first.
8th Street and California. Ongoing environmental concerns heightened in light of an 800-page report released by the city on Friday, leading to a state-ordered stoppage.
The IEPA, of course, is reviewing that. There's a pause that we put in place pending their review and results of that review, which will come out sometime very soon.
And yet, reaction from those who live.
These politicians, man, I can't stand them. I can't stand them. It's hard to even watch like more than 3 seconds of it, of any of them. Sometimes, you know, when they're giving speeches, I love watching the speeches because then you get a little bit of the agenda, right? They tell you what it is that they're trying to do, but they they got to tiptoe around all the shit they shouldn't say, and it's psychologically speaking, it's very interesting to watch, but it's also very disturbing as well, because if you for those with ears to hear and eyes to see, you can tell what's going on, and well, that's not a good thing for us, certainly. Us crazy criminals over here just trying to share information about what the hell our government and banksters, the elitists of society, are up to. No, you don't do that. Don't. That's what the media was originally for, right? Now it's a propaganda arm of the military-industrial complex, and they're after anybody who's actually trying to take that place, that open void that they left when they decided to go from actually reporting news to just being bootlickers of the federal government.
Who live near the site remains less than enthusiastic.
The city been lying to us from day one and just till now.
Oh
Ricardo
my God!
Palacios is among a group of plaintiffs who
Oh,
have been
get it
calling
off! Jesus, I'm sorry. That extremism. Did you hear him? That's exactly what that lady was talking about. You know, it's China and Russia's fault that he's saying that. Gotta be. That's the ridiculousness of it, right? I mean, when I put it in that context, oh yeah, of course. But you guys are in the know. So many people out there are just going through their day-to-day, none the wiser about any of this. So when they see the stuff, they just take it for what it is. They take the information that they're being told, because they're being told from authoritative sources, from that's the real news.
for a temporary restraining order. Hearing the case in court today, a judge ruled that because of the work stoppage, a TRO was no longer necessary. Watching the proceedings, which were held via Zoom, was a small group of residents who gathered inside a Bridgeport office.
We are a little bit frustrated, but at the same time, we are encouraged that judge urge city to be more transparent.
Meanwhile, the mayor's office has reiterated its position that most of
I love how they get a bunch of people that can't speak English up in front of there, and they're just like, "We're gonna choose one of you guys because this is clearly for the immigrants, for the refugees that are coming from places that there's no need to escape from, but refugees nonetheless. And we're going to shelter them all. We're going to build these wonderful monuments of terror or of shelter for all of these wonderful people that are crossing the border in search of a better life." Right? That's the perspective of. That's what we're supposed to believe. FEMA camps don't exist, by the way. All 900 and some of them, they just don't exist, and Google Earth is lying to you by placing them on the map. Those are creations, they're illustrations. You see where this is going. And it's moving there awfully fast. Wait till you see what the next article entails. In order to do that, I don't know if I should go with that one. Let's go back to COVID for a second. To what two auras COVID-19 jabs data leak? Data leak, right? COVID-19 jab data leak. What is a leak? First off and foremost, what is it? Well, it is the literal information. The actual, it's somebody taking whatever was, grabbing it, and taking out of the place that was meant to contain it, and bringing it outside of that and introducing it to people that were never supposed to know about it. That's what a leak is. There's no interchangeably. There's no, that's not what a leak is. If there's no alteration, there's no need to. That's why it's a leak, right? Keep that in mind. What is it? What does it mean? A Tiwatahura, whatever the hell that is, employee is accused of leaking data from the Health Ministry's National Jab Database to misinformation about jabs. So they risk their job, possible charges, not for the actual information. No, they risk their career, feeding their family, doing everything, possible jail time. Although there is the Whistleblowers Act. I don't know if this falls under that or not. I don't see anybody's comments. No, they're on. You see them? Because I can show you I'm not seeing a single comment. All right, so I'll show you my wife's phone. This is all you guys' comments. And then I'll show you, I don't know if I can show you mine, can I? Probably not. Well, you guys should see them on my screen. That's how they know, right? You guys see them not coming up? All right, so I'm gonna have to keep this here. They can't stop me. We'll get through this, man. Thank you. Gravy always saves the day.
Yeah.
So let me go back and see what's going on here. Yeah, just straight up blocking the convo. Cow farts. All right, so my wife stepped in. We're good. We're good. Let's move on. So let's go back to what I was saying. I want to emphasize again that this is a leak, right? That means a leak is somebody who's risking a lot of shit, man. Props to them. Edward Snowden, Julian Assange, like people that take leaks, take information that's very sensitive to help us, not the fucking government, not the mainstream media that's going to turn it around and be like, oh, that's so bad and misinformation. No, like real people standing up and doing what is right. There needs to be so many more of them. So many more of them. But when they do, don't be surprised when it gets turned into shit like this. So the whole purpose of the leak, of bringing real information out, according to this sorry-ass site, was to spread misinformation. No, by the way, let's talk about the military and myocarditis. And what was it? A 900 plus percentage increase in heart-related conditions. 900%. That's off the charts. What are you going to say, mainstream media? What do you say, government? What's the real? Oh, just take another cheeseburger. That's all. They're not done. That's why they won't admit any of it. That's why there's no investigations. That's why you're the problem. You're going to be eliminated if they have their way. This isn't fear porn. I'm not mongering. This is just fact. Yeah, if you can't see the writing on the wall by now, there's no hope for you, period. I don't want to be the bearer of bad news. They're really the bearers of it. I just want to be the one to enlighten you of it so it doesn't catch you off guard when it comes. Absolutely, New Edge. Now, obviously, I didn't see that on my stream because they're doing everything they can to keep me down and keep me from reaching people and just throw in the towel. But it's not going to happen. It will never happen. It's only making me stronger, and I'm only going to remember who did it when the time comes. You're right, Mitz. You're right. There's actually a couple verses about that. I wanted them all. Can't always get what you want. You can try sometime. You just might find you get what you need. I love it.
Ahead of the holiday season, families were lined up outside of Cedars-Sinai for their children to receive the updated COVID-19 vaccine.
We're traveling to see family for
Great
Christmas,
parents.
and the airplanes can just, be a little bit nerve-wracking sometimes, so just want to make sure we're as safe as possible.
Infants and children ages 6 months to 11 years old are eligible for the pediatric version of the Pfizer 2023-2024 updated COVID-19 vaccine. And doctors say it's important to have your child vaccinated.
It's always thought that maybe kids are less affected by COVID infection as opposed to adults, but there's still consequences related to the infection, whether you're talking about long COVID or whether you're talking about the MIS-C complications or any of those other complications. The vaccination helps prevent those. And the risk associated with the vaccination is significantly less than the risk associated with the viral infection itself. So this is protective.
Arturo Garcia brought his 19-month-old daughter Ana Sofia to the Cedars-Sinai COVID clinic. While she and other children may not have been excited at the prospect of getting a shot, Garcia and the other parents were grateful.
It's important to keep our children safe and healthy. I think it's the best gift we can give to our children.
Sorry. Oh, my bad. We just covered that one. Shannon, welcome to the channel. Well, we're finally up to 9, are we? Holy cow! It took a little while, huh? I know, it's so sick, isn't it? It's so sick. They are like that's the epitome of evil. They know what they're doing. They know what they're doing. I got to be careful what I say on this shitty ass platform with these tyrants in charge, but the vaccine was never tested for transmission. That's a fact. Jay Cree, welcome. Welcome. So it was all a lie. Oh, you're going to kill your grandma. Remember all the like we're hugging people through these crazy and the insanity of it all, right? But all that's based on transmission. It's all based on transmission, and that was all going to stop if we could only get this inoculation. If we could only get this plethora of all these different technologies inside of us, then we would be fine. We could get cheeseburgers, lap dances, beer. Oh, the government was going to hook us up. I don't remember the last time I was ever bribed by my federal government to do anything, but I do remember COVID-19 and the jab. Pretty sure that's the first. Retribution, good to see you. Oh, I'm glad they're like, hey, well, we got to do something here. They know. Like in YouTube, man. We thought we could just shut them down by the comments. Until my wife kicked in. So, New York Post, which used to be a respectable site. But I want to bring this up, guys, because think about what I was just talking about. Now, this has nothing to do, but everything to do with what I was just talking about. They weren't obviously meant to be read back to back with one another, but Trump plotting massive migrant sweeps, mega detention camps, if elected. Well, aren't we already building them? Aren't we already building these camps? No, it's all going to be great. So, could you, 2030, keep this in mind, 2030. We're not going anywhere anytime soon, although shit's going to get real fast. Very, very fast. Like 2024 is going to begin with a bang, let's say. And, oh, by the way, not to toot my own horn, I just want to, once again, make sure that we are keeping track of accuracy. I had stated that this weekend would be significant because there would be some type of an attack. It wouldn't be a big deal at first, but it will amount to a big deal. It's in my last stream. It's still up, so you can fact check it if you want. Many of you were probably all there. And then what happens to an American aircraft carrier from Iran, nonetheless? Like, Iran is going to fuck with the United States. Like, that's suicide. It's straight suicide. False flags galore, right? Speechless. To be expected. Not a big surprise. But just want to mention that because it's important. It will be very important. But what about these detention camps, huh? So, I mentioned it earlier. Think about what they're building right now. They're building this chaos, this nihilism, this anarchy. Not the real anarchy, by the way, just the media's version of it. And somebody's got to solve it. Problem, reaction, solution. Oh, Trump, can you please solve the crime problem, right? He will. He definitely will. Then who comes in after him? What carnage happens while he's in office? And then, if there were to be another president afterwards that was on the opposite side, after Trump instilled, because he's going to create all sorts of executive orders. If you doubt me, I guess time will tell, but I'm willing to wage whatever you want on it. Well, you want to make a bet? I like to gamble. I know it's not right, but I do enjoy a good gamble once in a while. I wouldn't be the least bit surprised in the first 30 days of office if Trump succeeds in creating more executive orders than have ever been done by any president ever before him. Let's give it 41 days. Anybody want to take the bet? Within 41 days, Trump will enact more executive orders than any other president ever before him. Any takers? Former President Donald Trump is plotting an intense crackdown on immigration. Why do you think they're letting them through the border? Do you think it's about them or do you think it's about us? If he is elected, if And they're doing everything they can to make sure of it. Oh, they're preventing him at every turn, but it always ends up in his favor, does it not? Every single time. Does it not increase his polling? Every single time. And there's dumb nuts out there that think like this is the way. Oh my God, they got it out. My mom, for instance. I'm sorry, Mom, if you're watching, but wake up. He's not our savior. No selected president is going to save us. The only people that are going to save us are the people. Are us getting our shit together and realizing what the hell is going on and doing something about it. And it doesn't have to be violent. It doesn't. It wouldn't work if it was. Including rounding up undocumented immigrants, of course. Oh yeah, that's fine. And holding them in large detention camps. This is the New York Post. This isn't some fly-by-night. This is the New York Post saying this. As they wait to be expelled from the country, according to a report. If you build it, they will come. Who's they? What were they? The leading contender for the 2024, blah, 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 blah. Trump's intense immigration bust would resurrect a series of regulations he had introduced during his presidency. So I've been saying this I was saying this in 2016. I said the whole thing. I am still right about all of it, about how this whole fucking thing plays out. I mean, I'm done apologizing for my speech. If you don't like it, you can unsubscribe. I'll make my amends with the Lord, but I'm pretty sure He knows pretty well where I stand.
It's a Christmas miracle. For the first time in the 21-year history of this show, we are on in December, which gives me a chance to explain to everyone something I've always wanted to expound upon in this show. You know that whole thing about Jesus being born on December 25th? Well, it's a crock of shit. Now, this is not an attack on Jesus, although he was a Nepo baby. But also a revolutionary philosopher with a beautiful message. As to whether he's a god, that's up to you. But if the subject is gods born on December 25th, we have enough of those for an entire Jeopardy category. He was the Egyptian god who took the form of a falcon, who is Horus. He is the god from ancient Persia, born bearing a torch, who is Mithra. He is the Greek god.
Hate to say it, but right. He's right. But what they're doing, what's been done, was to steer us away from the faith in general, from who the true Father is. But it is paganism. Christmas is very pagan. And they want to rub it in your face now that they succeeded into basically conditioning the entire population into celebrating a day that means absolutely the opposite of what Jesus stood for.
A god of rebirth, who is Adonis. He was the fertility god in Cleopatra's time, who is Osiris. This Greek deity was known for having a good time, who is Dionysus. Well, yeah, we wrapped up the Emmy with that one. So you may be asking, those are all real, by the way. I think that was the problem. They think I'm making this up, but I'm not. Why do all the gods want the same birthday? Well, because December 25th was a pagan holiday, coming a few days after the shortest day of the year, when primitive peoples noticed that the days were starting to get long.
It's 100% right. And most of what is now Christian is not Christian, unfortunately. And I'm not trying to tell you what to do or what, I mean, to me, it's a good thing when our families come together and we can, but we got to be careful of associating things with what they are not. And I see quick that there's other people to pick up the pieces of that and say, well, he was born June 6th, 6 AD. Oh, go figure. I haven't seen any facts laid out to support any evidence whatsoever in support of it, but that seems to be the direction I've seen so far that they're taking it. But it's not December 25th. Nobody knows. Nobody knows. Anybody that pretends to is lying to you.
Longer again, and so a cause for celebration. Cut to. And that's the story.
Excuse me. Did they just show a fully clothed Mariah Carey? Fully clothed Mariah Carey. And they're making fun of it as if that's an issue when let's look at their people. Let's look at Lil Nas X. Let's go ahead and do that, actually. These are the people that they support. Now, Mariah Carey, like I just said, was singing a Christmas song fully clothed, but they want to be like, oh, well, let's jump over to her. But then you got these Christians
Shake up your shower with Dove. Refresh. Indulge. Unwind. And savor. With so many flavors of care, there's a Dove for everybody.
Lil Nas X went dancing with the devil over Palm Sunday weekend as he released his song and music video for Montero, Call Me By Your Name, and regardless of the mixed reactions, he assures fans that he couldn't care less. What was supposed to be a weekend of worship on the...
Oh, he couldn't care less.
According to Recon News, Lil Nas X's embrace of Christian hip-hop signals a broader trend of artists using their platforms to address spiritual and social issues.
Lil Nas X is entering his Christian era. Take it as you will. I'm going to get wrapping it up, guys. I had plenty more I wanted to go through. Let me turn this chat on because I just realized no, I'm not going to do it to you, New Edge. I'm not going to do it to you. I'm going to get wrapping it up, though, guys. I appreciate you being here. I didn't even get to the meat and potatoes of this, but it is what it is. You know, I don't have a whole lot of time, and I do want to cover things, and time gets the best of me. If I could do this full time, you know, that's it's gonna happen eventually, but it won't be in any way that we're familiar with, that's for sure. By the way, if you care to support this channel and the efforts, there's not a link in the description, but it's GoFundMe at Perdition Media. I think it's Perdition-Media. I'm not even positive about that, so don't even bother donating. I got more on the way, guys, but we're not into 2024 quite yet, but when we are, hopefully it won't be too shocking of a change for you, because I'm trying to make that transition as painless as possible. But it's not going to be quite the same channel you're used to. It will be. It definitely will be, but it won't be. And just keep in mind, did I ever seem crazy to you? Media would sure have you believe it. Hope you guys, it's Monday. Hopefully your week is the best it can be. Take the time, especially, you know, I know how it is. Like, take the necessary time for yourself. Be patient with people, as patient as you can be. And keep Christ in your thoughts. God bless. Much love. Peace.